Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as I mentioned a few days ago, as I alluded to in a post that I made on, I think, all the platforms that I could remember to make it, I'm talking about Scorpio. Now, this video is not just for my Scorpio friends. This video is for everybody. So don't think that it's only for people who have ascendant in Scorpio, or maybe you did a little bit more digging with astrology and you know your quote-unquote big three, as they call them, and you say, oh, I am also sun in Scorpio, or I have moon in Scorpio. Right, so this video is for everybody, not just for those people who, again, have an ascendant or a planet in Scorpio. So whether you've done some digging in astrology before or not, this video is for you. Why? This is one of the deeper parts that is available for us to understand in astrology, which is that we have all the signs within us. Whether you are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your ascendant is. It doesn't matter where your moon, sun, anything is. You actually have all the houses. You are a complete entity. You're a complete being. And you have Scorpio in you, as you have also an 8th house in you. That means that what I will talk about today has something to do with you somewhere in your life. So that's why this video is for everybody. If you do not know what place Scorpio has in your chart, if you don't know what house it is in, if you do not know what planet it's in, and you would like to know, that's where you can reach out to my assistant and we can get together to do a consultation and look at it on your chart. However, even if you don't know any of it, and even if you don't book a consultation, what I will talk about today should give you at least enough insight to look deeply into your life. And like I said before, discover what is this role that Scorpio is playing in your life, and that you can do some reflection, some introspection, some journaling, some meditation, and really feel how are you in this dimension of your life, which is a very, very important dimension. And if you discover that there's some work to be done, I'll talk a little bit about how to help us through that. And perhaps you will evaluate and see, well, I'm actually doing quite well there, which will be amazing. So let's go ahead and get started. I will begin by saying that Scorpio is the depth, D-E-P-T-H. It is the depth of our lives. Scorpio represents the deep waters. It represents also the still water. Scorpio is the mystery. It's a very mysterious sign, but also mystic. If you study the meaning of the word mystery, it leads you to mystic, and then you study the origin of the word mystic, you realize, oh, mystic is that individual that is seeking God. And the mystery, that's why spirituality is unveiled to us through mysteries, and it is mysterious. It is dark and hidden, but not as a negative thing. The occult is hidden, not as a negative thing, but because it is mysterious. Why is it hidden? Well, isn't that one of its mysteries too? So you have to discover why it is like that, and you go into a journey. So Scorpio is responsible for this in our lives. I recently spoke about Saturn, 7th house, and contracts, and I think this is what led us to talk about this Scorpio thing today, which I really wasn't planning on. All I did is that I said, well, I want to start engaging with people more. I want to go back to doing more videos and talking about these things that I'm passionate about. And it just so happened that a bunch of people scheduled with me, and it was a lot of Scorpio stuff, a lot of Libra stuff, a lot of Leo stuff. Very interesting. So bear with me too. I'm working without notes here. I'm working without script. I usually do a script, but I just felt like I wanted to talk about this. So I'll try to summon that same connection and that same information here today, or fail trying, which is also okay. So I would compare the realm of the 8th house and the realm of Scorpio to that strong pressure that is experienced deep undersea. So the journey of Scorpio in your life is a journey of creating a submarine that is well contained and that is powerful and that is well managed for you to explore the depth of the ocean and to understand what is it that is down there. What are the creatures that I will find there? What are the spirits and the entities that I will find there? What are the lessons that I will find in this mysterious part of our lives? When the realm of Scorpio is unexplored in a person, this person will go through life with the experience of what I call a sticky ghost. A sticky ghost. Why a ghost? Because it's Scorpio. And Scorpio deals with this mystery of the unknown. Scorpio has deep link to the underworld. But that's not the only house or the only sign that deals with it. Not one sign or one house deals 100% with anything. That's the complexity of astrology. Scorpio deals with secrets, but it's not the most secretive sign. It is, however, the one that manages secrets the best. There's another sign, and you can tell me on an email or comment below if you know what sign actually has more secrets than Scorpio. But that being said, Scorpio is the one that manages secrets the better. Which is why in Vedic astrology, as you may remember, we don't operate 100% in the signs. We talk about the signs because it's a little bit easier, but in Vedic astrology we focus more on the constellations of the star, which are the house of the moon, which we refer to as nakshatra. And in Scorpio we have 3, as with all other signs. We have Anuradha, we have Jeshta, and we also have Vishaka. And because of their ability to manage secrecy, this is why certain Scorpio placements, particularly in Anuradha, are excellent detectives, excellent police officers, excellent spies, excellent double agents. But I want to go back to this notion of the sticky ghost. So the issue, or the fascinatingly challenging experience that Scorpio individuals go through, or wherever Scorpio is playing, whatever role it is playing in your life, is that until you do the work that is required for you to be able to name the sticky ghost that you're dealing with, this sticky ghost will be haunting you forever. People who have also not done the work will engage with you, and you and them will constantly be entering karmic territories of breach of contract. And this breach of contract will allow an experience to be created in which you are able to face that ghost. Or you will go through an experience with this person, and you will think that this person is the sticky ghost that you're dealing with, but it will not be about this person. It has nothing to do with the person. It has nothing to do with their value. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your value. It has only to do with that sticky ghost that you are dealing with. So what is this notion of the sticky ghost? It is a deep karmic chase. In this area of your life, if it is unexplored, you will feel like you are haunted. You will feel like you are being chased by something. But there's no evidence for it. There's no real evidence for it. It's not a real ghost. But it's sticky, right? So you will go through experiences with people in which you will stick the ghost to them. And you'll create a little karmic play. You'll create an argument. You'll create a lawsuit. You'll create a conflict. You'll create something that is limiting your life until you learn the lesson. So how do we acquire this sticky ghost? We acquire this by leaving the door open. I explained that Scorpio is a sign that has to explore the depths. And if you need a submarine to do that, this needs to be airtight. There can be absolutely no imperfect area of the submarine. It needs to be perfectly contained. If it is in the depth and a hole as big as a needle takes place, it'll implode. It'll completely collapse. It'll be absolutely destroyed. In the same way, the journey of Scorpio is the journey of creating this perfect boundary, this perfect bubble, this perfect container, so that I can explore the depth of the cosmos, the depth of the subconscious, the depth of its life, the depth of its soul. But by leaving the door open, it self-sabotages. Leaving the door open to an interaction in which you will be able to fail until you learn the lesson. So, how do we leave the door open? I explained this in the previous video. By lack of clarity, lack of boundaries, lack of contract. This is why Libra comes right before Scorpio, because Libra wants harmony and balance and wants everything to be as Saturn dictates. Libra is related to Saturn and Venus. It operates with Saturn. Let's lay the foundation, let's lay the groundwork, so that then Venus can bloom. And Venus brings us happiness. It blossoms. But then we have Scorpio. If these deals are not properly set, if these contracts are not properly set, if these agreements are not clear, there are vulnerabilities. It can be penetrated. It is not, what is the word in English? Impermeable. I think that word exists also in English. The term in Sanskrit is vyapi, the penetration. And Scorpio does not want to be penetrated. Scorpio is the penetrator. That is why Scorpio is so related to sexuality. And when Scorpio finds harmony in sexuality, maybe I'm going here in a bit of a tangent, there's co-penetration in relationships. That's how it works in the Scorpio realm. So Scorpio does not want to be penetrated because it'll explode, it'll implode, it'll be tragic. So this is, by the way, why also Scorpio is related to scuba diving and depths and the guts of the house, such as the pipes and submarines and the depth of the ocean and all these things. Okay, so by leaving these doors open, the ghost comes in. But it's not a real ghost. It is just a psychic thing. It is the feeling that somebody is out to get you. And when you interact with people, if people have done some work in the development of consciousness, because they know they are not out to get you, they will be confused because they will see how you're acting in a way in which you behave as if someone is punishing you. You start punishing yourself. You act as if people must punish you. This is why they're so related to police work. You feel as if you have a great punishment to pay. Why? Because since you haven't set this foundation, since you haven't worked on these boundaries, you know the risk that if it becomes infiltration, again, the spy, the double agent stuff, it'll be destroyed from within. What does a double agent do? What does a spy do? It infiltrates and it destroys the enemy from within. This is all the realm of Scorpio. And the spy or the double agent doesn't belong neither here nor there. So in this relationship of your life, you will be carrying a ghost until you land it and you can name it and you can do the work related to it. And we're going to talk about how to do that as well. So, if you do not do this work, the ghost will come into your life and you will be taken into an interaction with someone in which they will become the perfect embodiment of this persecution that you feel around you, because it's latent inside and it's bothering you. It's bothering your soul, it's bothering your awareness, because it knows that it's there and it knows that it's false and it knows that it doesn't belong. It'll continue stirring the pot. Hey, name me. And if you cannot name me because you have played enough games of being unaware, if you do not reflect, if you do not meditate, it becomes such a mysterious thing that you can't even think about it, that you can't even name it, I will orchestrate a play. Grace, the divine consciousness, will orchestrate a play where I am going to be laid out there in front of you so clearly that you will have no option but to name me. And these things are so dramatic and quite frankly, they suck. They're a waste of time. They're a waste of energy. Everybody involved suffers. What's the need for that? So, what do I mean by naming it? Is to be able to pull out this sticky ghost, is to be able to sit with it and notice and see what really it is. Is it childhood trauma? Is it an emotion that is unfulfilled? Is it some frustration that you have? Is it feeling that you need to fail to prove that you are not worthy? Is it feeling and realizing that you're undervaluing your craft and therefore you think other people undervalue your craft? Well, in reality, you were the first one to undervalue your craft. And therefore you psychically believe that people are out to get you, to pull you and say your craft is of lower value than you actually regard it to be. Does that make sense? So, until you name this ghost and you do the work related to it, you will continue summoning interactions and people in which this will be challenged. How will it be challenged? It will be challenged in the boundaries. It will be challenged in the lack of clarity. It will be challenged in the contracts. It will be challenged in the way in which you start giving a weird life discount, VIP access to things that are of lower value or that are not showing the real value of who you are. If this resonates with you, then you need to start doing the reflection. If this resonates with you, you need to start thinking about where in your life are you selling yourself short. Because it's very likely that this is where the Scorpio part of your life is. Like I said, we all have Scorpio somewhere in our charts. Aries has it in the 8th house. Taurus has it in the 7th house. And like so, you start seeing that each person has it in somewhere. You will notice that if you have, for example, Moon in Scorpio, is very likely related to your upbringing, your mother, your emotions. But if his Scorpio that is sitting in your 10th house, for example, you will notice that it has to do with how you behave in the public sphere, how things go for you business-wise in your career. If it is in the 2nd house, it'll have much more to do with how you talk about the value of life and how you talk about the values that were given to you by your upbringing and your family and your culture. If you have Mars in Scorpio, for example, you may feel that the way you are policing your life, the way you're managing your life, the way you are handling anger and energy in your life has something to do with what I've spoken about today. So let me think and see if I have missed anything so far. I want to reiterate the deep necessity that Scorpio has in setting these boundaries, these contracts, this clarity. Do not enter ambiguous situations over and over and over again, wasting your time and the other person's time as well. Set the terms of the engagement as clear as possible. Otherwise, you will feel like someone's out to get you, or other people will feel like you are out to get them. And if that is your experience constantly, well, that's an indication of where likely this Scorpio disarray is taking place. When you set a real contract, and this is one of the secrets here, it means harmony, because again, it comes from the previous house. It comes from Libra, right? It means balance, equilibrium, meaning I gain, you gain. How can we both gain the most from this interaction? Not just you, but also me. Not just me, but also you. Scorpio, part of life, you may feel and fear that you're being unfair, and but most of all, you will fear being seen as unjust and unfair. I just realized I have an appointment, so maybe I'll finish recording this one. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Had an appointment, did some errands, had a thunderstorm, but we're back to wrap up Scorpio Secrets video, and now is where the real meat and potatoes of the video comes. Save the best for last. So thank you for sticking around, thank you for waiting and being so patient with me. I really do appreciate you listening to this, and I hope that it encourages you to look deeply into your life and reflect where this is taking place. And of course, if you are curious about it and you want to learn where Scorpio is placed in your chart, what role it's playing, then let me know, and we can have a consultation and take a look at your Vedic astrology chart. Now, I spoke about the sticky ghost. I spoke about how to keep the sticky ghost out. You do that by setting contracts and agreements, clarity, equal gain. You achieve the exorcism of this ghost by doing meditation, contemplation, journaling. I want to say one more thing at the end that's going to help you a lot with this. But before I say that, I also want to mention that because Scorpio is the sign of secrets, this is also why, and if you had readings with me, I've told you this probably, you need to be keeping secrets in your life about certain things, not everything. Hello. I agree. But it stopped raining, no? What do you think? Wherever Scorpio is, the role it's playing in your life is also a role of secrecy. These are things that you need to keep very, very secret. And you will notice that when you do not keep these secrets, when you spill the beans, as it were, things deflate, the submarine is breached, and things implode and fail. You will see this in you, and you can also reflect about the people around you, that when they spill the beans about something, that something falls apart. And this is why there are so many rituals that we have as humanity in many, many cultures where secrecy is important. This is why certain masters, certain teachers did not teach us certain things because they're secret, and only under certain conditions can they tell us. So wherever Scorpio is in your chart, this is the part of you that you need to keep secret. For some of you, if you have, for instance, Jupiter and Scorpio and you're a woman, this means that you need to be secretive about who your partner is. And that as soon as you start dating this person, if you start telling everyone, and you tell the whole world and all your friends on social media, something happens, relationship falls apart. If Scorpio is in the 10th house, for example, you will see that your career is a secret. Your public life is also a public life of secret. There are things that you should not reveal. And the moment that you reveal them, The moment you spill the beans, things deflate. Your opponents didn't even need to do industrial espionage because you spilled all the beans. Think about it. Think about all the successful projects that you know, all the successful people that you know. They know how to keep a secret. And maybe they're doing it subconsciously or intuitively, and they're keeping secrets of the right area of their lives. If you have Moon in Scorpio, for example, your emotions, your thoughts are a secret and should not be easily revealed. You should have a poker face and not reveal everything up front. Moon and Scorpio people, when they have really mastered this, they become the masters of poker face. They have such a sharp face. It's the face of a sphinx. You cannot penetrate their face. And inside is the whole churning of the ocean taking place. And they're taking in and they're analyzing and they're penetrating everything and everyone, and nothing can penetrate them. And that's how it looks like whenever Scorpio has become strengthened in your chart. You'll notice that this part of your chart is very well policed, is very well managed. And when it's not, you are easily manipulated and you become a manipulator. That's why there's this false cliche, let's say, of Scorpio people being very manipulative. So secrets are extremely important. Wherever Scorpio is playing, wherever Scorpio is in your chart and whatever planets it is with, keep that secret. Keep that secret. Sometimes your go-to needs to be a secret. Your place of residence needs to be a secret. Now, there's an exception to this, or an evolution to this, a transformation, I should say, because Scorpio is a sign of secrets, but it's also a sign of transformation. We cannot keep everything secret all the time. You can operate on a need-to-know basis. If you're dating someone, sooner rather than later, those that are really close to you, those who are in your circle, they're in a need-to-know basis sooner than social media. So you follow that rule. If you want to continue keeping it a secret, that's also okay. If you got a new watch and you went to the supermarket and somebody saw you, it's like, oh, a new watch. Well, you were wearing your new watch, so what? It became revealed. I mean to say it's a surprise. The secret unveils itself. Okay? So that's also fine. Like I said, there are things that we cannot keep secret all the time. You had a face surgery, okay. Some people are going to notice at some point. You can keep that a secret as much as you like, but someone's going to see your face sooner or later. The secret will come out. Now, what about that area of our lives that is governed by Scorpio? The most important thing is to reveal only that which has already been transformed. That which has already been transformed. How do we know what that is? This is the most important part. There are 3 rules for this. Once something has been transformed in you, you can reveal that secret. You can create a product about it. You can coach people about it. You overcame trauma, and it doesn't need to be a secret anymore. Now you can guide people on overcoming the trauma. Instead of just blabbering about it on social media and saying you're this coach and that coach and you're still swimming in it, taking yourself nowhere and taking the people around you nowhere still. So you need to overcome it. It needs to be transformed. And the 3 rules are, first of all, you know what you gained from it. You have clarity on what that contract was, and what I gained from this is this. Yes, I had childhood trauma, but I'll tell you what I learned about it. And this might be obvious to most of you, but what you learned about it needs to be something truthful, meaning it cannot be emotionally charged, meaning it cannot be like, here's what I learned about childhood trauma is that all mothers are evil, all fathers, all men are trash. That's not the truth. It's emotionally charged. You're still swimming in it. Okay, so you know what you gained from it. That's number 1. Number 2, when you're revealing the secret, it's still contained. There's still some rules of engagement. At the very least with you. You make a contract to yourself saying like, okay, I will share this during the course. but not on social media. I will share this in social media, but only like this. If people want to know more, they need to reach me. I will share this only with my close ones. I am now ready after years of therapy, of overcoming this. Now I can share this. Or after years of working hard in this, I finally became a writer. I finally have this task that I've completed, that I've been investing my time and my energy in. Now I will reveal it. I know what I gained from it. And the rules of revelation are this. Only certain people will learn about it. Or I will only tell these people under a contract. This is also why you'll see that some people become rich and they tell their family, and their family themselves will come and eat their money. And who knows if that relationship will ever heal. I'm sure you've seen cases like this. You buy a house, you buy a car. This is why secrecy is so important. Yes, jealousy is closely knit to Scorpio and all water signs. Because it's a very disempowering emotional attack. It's not a real emotion, it's just an emotional attack, jealousy. And we must overcome this. We must overcome this. What do the Greeks say? Even here in Mexico we say it too. When you look at someone and you're envious, you cast a spell on them. Evil eye is what it's called. Evil eye. Mal de ojo. Sometimes even if you are really admiring someone, even if it's positive, you might still cast a spell on them. So we must be very careful with this. We must learn to be very secretive. So you know what you gain from it. So it's a true transformation. You reveal it still under certain conditions, at the very least with you. And third, and very important, when you are revealing this, you are able to be centered and you are in awareness of what's going on in your mind and in your body, in your breath, in your whole awareness. If your whole system's out of control, if you're having a panic attack, it's a clear indication that this is not ready to be revealed. If you reveal something and later you say, oh my, I didn't even check in with myself. Were you aware of your body and in that moment of revelation? And if the answer is no, you probably weren't ready to reveal it. This is why self-awareness is so important. Meditation is so important. So taking this back to how you protect yourself from the sticky ghost is that these things are also needed when dealing with the famous sticky ghost. When you make any deal, you should feel like that. You should feel clearly, this is what I'm going to gain from it. This is how my body feels, my breath. I am aware of my mind, I'm aware of my emotions. And it is contained. And the opposite, whenever things are unclear, this is what will sabotage the Scorpio part of your life, and it will deflate you. So reflect on these emotions, reflect on these thoughts, reflect on these ghosts, reflect on this experience. And if you notice that there's been power that has been taken away from you, if you discover that it is in this dimension, then all you have to do is start looking into it and apply these rules to it. Maybe you need a little bit more patience before you reveal something. Maybe you need to keep a secret. Is the omen. Maybe things are meant to be revealed only for those who are paying attention. That's all I'll say for now. So, if you want to hear anything else about this, then of course, as always, you can like and subscribe and all the things. If you want to get a reading, please feel free to contact. I'll try to put the contact somewhere in the video a couple of times so you can reach my assistant and she'll be giving you a spot as soon as it's available. Thank you.